Hey tubers, me again. So next up on the agenda is this DR Professional Power for Homeowners wood chipper. And the engine, overhead valve, Briggs & Stratton, 10 horsepower. It doesn't look to be in that bad a shape. It has been left out. I can tell by all the cobwebs and stuff. Let me turn the light on. Down in there, down by the clutch, there's a bunch of debris and stuff. And then the blades look. Let's go down in here. That belt looks a little iffy. Whoa. So anyways, never worked on one of these. The motor is the motor. That's going to be a piece of cake. But down there, there's a belt. We'll check it all out. I'm not going to do it as long as I did on the whacker. But my first problem is that it came in with flat tires. So I ran down to Harbor Freight and got these undersized tires so I can at least move it around. And that's how wide it is. This is how wide my lift cart is, because I'm not working on my knees. So, Jax, say hi. Just wave. Hi, buddy. I gotta get that stupid thing onto this stupid thing. So, I'll be back. Okay, so the problem is solved. All you gotta do is take and tip it back, and the center of balance, center of gravity, is past that little resting bar right there. So I can just go like this. I got the wheels locked up on the cart, but watch out, Jax. I should be able to just go right underneath here and then lift that end up. Pretty easy. Okay, be right back. Okay guys, to get this, like I was saying, I want to get that belt off of there so I can monkey around with that engine and not worried about the knives spinning. So there's only two bolts holding it on. Up here on the top, you can see that's one right there. And then there's another one down here that goes on this bracket. It's 13 millimeter. You got to hold it on the back while you use a ratchet on the front or an impact. This one here, hi Buck. There's my dog's best friend, Buck. This one up here actually has a capture on it. So you can just take that nut off and then put it back. I put them back just so I know that that's where they go. All right, moving forward. We should be able to take and spin this off, but I don't want to get my fingers pinched in there. So that's looking a little rough. Looking a little rough. All right, let's check that out. I hope that's not engaged with the motor right now. That it's just the belt. That's the clutch. No, it doesn't feel like it is. It does not feel like it is. Okay, I'm going to take the belt off. Okay, so I took the belt off. There's really nothing to it, you guys. Belt goes on there like that. Here's like this. All I do is like I take and I twist the belt. I just twist the belt, and then as I'm rolling it, it just derails itself. That's all I do. And the belt is in terrific shape, actually. It doesn't even have a big memory to it, so that's cool. Air filter right here, just a little hinge. Pick it up, pull it out. I've seen lawnmowers a lot worse than this. So that's by itself not a big deal. That looks like that was replaced not too long before it sat. Yeah, that looks decent. This is not really troubling, concerning, except we're going to make a mental note of it. And it's got some, it looks like oil coming out of there. It may have been overfilled at one point or whatever. It could be something going on Here is the, when I undo this, maybe I'll be able to look inside of there. This is the actual breather tube right there, and it goes right into the, what do you call it, the valve cover. So the different pressure changes with the piston going up and down and everything is like, this picks it up, and then any fumes that accumulate inside the engine, whatever, this is an EPA, excuse me, this is an EPA thing to take that. This will take and suck up any oil fumes and burn them off inside of there. So far, so good. I think I want to take this off, Fuel line is not rock hard, which is wonderful. I'm really curious as to why this thing is not running. Well, here's the first thing right here. I'm over here on this throttle, and then I'm looking down here on this throttle, and this is locked. This is frozen right here, which means it's with the governor. That could be it too. Somebody could have monkeyed with it. If the governor is all the way down, that it's not going to actually take and work the throttle. So when I'm doing this, you guys, because you're seeing it the exact same time that I am, and I just throw ideas out in my head and say like, okay, well, this is something to look for. Okay, so like this is going to be my starting spot right now, because that throttle should move. It just should. And then back up underneath of there, if I could get a camera in there, there should be a little arm sticking up. We can see up inside of there should be a little arm sticking up that's connected to at the end of this, and that'll be the governor. The governor, or the linkage that I'm working over here with my hand, and it's not doing anything. So we have zero throttle action on it, and it should be, I can see something moving back there, but it's super stiff. So let's get these covers off. Hopefully that just pulls off. Get these covers off and look back there and see what's going on. And then I did check it for oil. It does have oil. A lot of times, like this right here, this will be a low oil sensor. If it gets too low on oil, it won't run. This has definitely got oil, and just by putting my finger in there, you can see, and it does not look bad. So somebody, it has very, very low hours, or somebody was trying to give it a freshen. Let's just spring over here. Somebody was trying to give it a freshen, and they couldn't get it. So that's how this guy got it. Or it's stolen. I don't know. He's just like, hey, can you fix it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. All right, guys, I'm going to dive into this a little bit deeper, take these covers off, and see what's going on back there with this throttle situation. So I'm taking off these screws, and they are T25s. This one here, it's actually so like if it wants to accept a cable, you know, to run a hand throttle on it, instead of doing it over here. So there's one right there, one right there, one right there. They're all T25s. And then if you look over here on the fuel shutoff, see there's a little, come on light, there's a little gap right there. So make sure that the fuel is turned off, and this should pop right out. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. There's that end. There's this end. Hold on. I gotta do this with a, I need more than one hand. We'll do it. We'll get it. We can get it. Wrestle. Okay. Of course, it would have been done in 10 seconds. So Just did it with one hand. Alright, I'm looking in here. It's a little bit of droppings. When there's seeds, whoops. When there's seeds and stuff, you guys, I mean somebody was taking up residence. So I can see where this comes over. When it shuts off, that wire. It looks like there's a part of a kill switch. There's the governor arm right up on top. Right there. Here. That right there, that's where it bolts down into the engine. That little piece that as it revs up, it goes like that. Controls the throttle. Because it starts at full throttle all the time. So we gotta find out who the what the. There's the spring on it. So alright. It's time to pull the gas cap or the gas tank so we can look down on the problem. I'm gonna undo this. Look like what? 10 millimeters? 2, 4. And then we'll just disconnect it from over here in the carb. Leave it all as one piece. Okay, I'm gonna take the gas tank off, guys. Okay, the fuel line is disconnected over here. The breather tube from the valve cover, just pull that out. That's all that does. And so that's disconnected. The 4 shoulder bolts that go right here, and the same on the other side, they look like this. Those 4 shoulder bolts are out. So now this should lift right off. And see this? See those little sacky things? Those are Black Widow sacks. Yee! Alright, I got a customer. Okay, guys, so without getting too crazy, I know that's hard for me to do. This is the actual part of the governor that comes out of the engine down there. As the engine speeds up, it will come back this way. It should pull this, and then it has this little spring. It's directly connected to the throttle over here, but it's not moving at all. So something here is frozen. Is it that in there? That would be very bad. I'm looking to see if there's like a pivot point in the middle, and there is not. The throttle over on the other side just works. It's just that spring right here, which is supposed to give it gas. So there's run fast in that position. See how the spring is pulling on it? That's supposed to take that arm from the governor and push it forward. And it's not like that thing's even just bowing up trying to get out of there. Because it appears that everything else over here is right. It looks like everything is right over here. And it looks like that the problem is going to be that throttle plate. So I'm going to put some WD-40 on there right now, and I'm going to just try to work it back and forth gentle, because if somebody was in here working on it and put that throttle plate in there backwards, it's going to be like fully closed when it thinks it's open, or it's going to be like fully open when it thinks it's closed, or it's just not going to be right. So we got WD on there. Let's see if we can work that a little bit. Hold on. Let me get my finger back behind there. I want to try to, and I'm being gentle with it. Nope. That thing is locked up tighter than a drum. Okay, so our problem is going to be, before we can even run it, is like we have to take this We have to take this carburetor apart and find out what's locking that up. That's a drag. That's a real drag. I mean, not that we got to do the work, but you know, maybe if I just revisit this in the morning after, sorry, my finger's in the way. After some of that WD sits on there. Oh, look, it's got a little movement. Let's see. Oh, look. It's moving. It's moving. Sorry, I hit the button by mistake. Yeah, the problem is right here. So before we go any further, we got to undo all this linkage. We got to undo this. We got to undo that. Whatever. We're gonna take the carburetor off. I'm sure it needs to be serviced anyways, but at least now we got a real good starting point, and it's gonna be that throttle plate. So, yay! Moving forward. Okay, guys, it is now 9 o'clock the next day, and we're gonna take that carburetor off. So, because that throttle plate won't move, we're gonna have a hard time trying to manipulate that governor arm off of there. So, we're gonna take the nuts off. You can probably just do it instead of yakking about it. I'm gonna take it's 11 millimeter on mine. I'm gonna take that off, and then I'm gonna remove the studs. Well, what do you call it? The studs. My brain's a little foggy, guys, so slow talking it. A 4 millimeter, I'll show you in a second, 4 millimeter socket fits those studs real nice and tight. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's this one right here, it is super, super small. That will fit right on the end of these. Let me show you. Because they're like reverse Torx, see that? So I'm gonna take and put that on there and see if we can't get them turned out. They don't usually come out super easy because they heat cycle so many times up there close to the block, but let's just hope for the best. Everything else is already disconnected. There's that gasket, I don't want to lose that. Let's see if we can get these off. Oh yeah, nice and easy. Plus we got the benefit that this thing doesn't look to be that old. Alright, so you don't need to watch all of this. Keep that gasket in one piece. I'm going to take these out, and then we're going to take and put the carburetor over on the bench and see what we can come up with. Yeah, I figured I'd just show it to you. So, here's the studs. There's two of them. Now I just want to get that carburetor off of there. I'm pulling the studs out because normally sometimes you can just take off one and then slide it off, but you'd have that movement going on from the throttle plate. We don't have that because it's frozen into position. So I want to be able to take it out like this and manipulate it to get the carburetor. Get the carburetor off of here. And then there's that little spring assist. You can see how they're both right there together. And just to verify, everything that we did yesterday is all this is free. If we move this, you should see some movement up top of there. It takes the tension off. See what I'm saying? So like everything up here is free and clear. That's great news. That was a concern over there because that's the part that actually goes down into the engine. So we are on the right track. There's gaskets on there. That's still in great shape. I'm not going to blow any of this stuff out of here for fear of messing up parts, but let me clean it up. So, well, looky there. Let's turn the light on. You think maybe that's got a little something to do with it? Can you see down in there? There's that throttle plate. We got to put some carb spray or soak it. Get this crap out of there. And maybe she'll be easy money. We'll see. There's another one of those gaskets. It's kind of weird. All right, guys. I just want to show you that. Okay, so now we're over here on the bench. I don't even know what that stuff is in there. Turn the light on. It's like some type of tar glue. I don't know. Anyways, I need to soften that up with something. So I'm gonna start off with using the gas from his tank. See, we don't know how long that's been in there, so we're gonna take and use that as our parts cleaner. And then, hold on, I'm just trying to set up the camera. Take the lid off. If I can get that stuff to clear up enough. Ah, crap. Not really enough in there to do what I want. I'm just going to lay it face down in here. Let it soften up that goo. And then hopefully that screw will be able to come out. And we're going to take the throttle plate out, take out the shaft, clean everything up. We want to see if we can get that, see how the nice and shiny the top screw is? Well, the bottom one's all gummed up. So we're going to see what we can do about, whoops. Just going to put it face down in here. See if that'll help to dissolve it and free that thing up. This might be the hardest part, was just trying to figure out what the heck. So, all right, there we are. All right, this is the exciting part. Little carb spray, little silly little brush. Put that in there. It's just like down at the bottom where that throttle shaft goes into the carburetor. So I keep spraying this on here, trying to dissolve it. And now that it's got a little bit of spray on there, it actually, I can smell the varnish. So we should be able to open up this bowl down here and see. Let's see if we get any movement out of it now. Oh yeah. We couldn't do that before. Okay, so we got that freed up. Without messing it up too bad, I need to take and try to get these screws out of there to clean that plate. And then once you have those screws out of there, you can take and pull this shaft out of there. I'll be able to clean down inside, because while it's doing its thing in there, I can just see it coming out of there. Nice and easy. That would probably run just the way that it is right now. Very easy, very easy. But We got it apart this far. Damn, it's cold on the hands. Okay. So let's take these off. Let's see how bad the varnish is inside of there. We're gonna have to clean the jets. All that from the emulsion tube sticking up in there. Look at it now. You just do it with my thumb. That's the one that was giving us trouble. But yeah, that's a mess down in there. All right. Let's get the bowl off. See what's gonna happen there. Okay guys, I got the bowl off. You can see a little bit of crud down in there. This spring actually goes, hold on, let me set you up. Set you up right over my coffee cup. That spring actually goes right down in there. I have not seen that before. But I also know that these guys all pretty much work on the same principle. There's going to be a needle. That looks like it's got rubber. A rubber end. And let's see, is the light on? It's looking a little weak. A little deformed. See that? So my biggest thing right now is to because, oh look, it just kind of lifts off of there. We got a bunch of junk on the bottom. I have not seen these before. I'm scared. I'm very scared. But I can see that when this goes back together, like this, here's the emulsion tube right there. When this thing goes back together, it's going to be very specific because that right there is where the needle is going to go on the float, and then there's the fuel in from here to there. So I reckon I need to order up this here gasket. And then there's I think that's just for fuel. They're totally clogged. I can see it down in there. I can see that these are clogged. Do we just try to get it running? I'll order up this, but I'm wondering if I put a screwdriver in there, does that emulsion tube screw out of there or no? If it does, it ain't coming out easy. Let's just clean it up. Run some cleaners through there and then see what we can do about the inside. Make sure that they're all clean down on the inside. I want to make it run. Look at that throttle now. Isn't that crazy? Just by hanging it, that's beautimous. Alright, I'm going to finish cleaning it up. Enough carburetor time, guys. Okay, I lied. I have to show you something kind of interesting. What I think is interesting. So do you see the little brass piece right there that I scraped and cleaned? That has a little O-ring. It only goes down about, like not very far, but there's an O-ring on it. When I went to clean this thing, somebody had actually taken and put that up through the bottom. They put it up through the bottom of there. Turn the light on. And so it just dropped out the bottom. And I don't think that's supposed to be like that. I think it's supposed to be like this. Because it makes no sense. There's no grip for the O-ring. Unless the O-ring goes inside of this. Wait a minute. See if I can get that out of there again. Trust but verify. See that little tiny seal on the bottom? I'm sure you guys that work on these things all the time saying, like, this guy's an idiot. I don't know what he's doing. So does this. That does not fit in there. So that's not how it's supposed to be. That does not fit down in there. That is not how it's supposed to be. So whoever took it apart did it wrong. I'm going to put this back in here. What I think makes sense. Push that back down in there. And now it's clear. I've cleared out all these passages in here, you guys. You can see through them. Having a little trouble with those ones in there. I'm scared. I don't know how to get this thing out of here. I really don't. And I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. I would love to get that out of there. So I'm just going to take and run some carb spray up through the bottom there, and then put like whatever 120 psi through this, and then it's going to be what it's going to be, and then stick it back on the machine. Okay, just want to show you. I think that was wrong. Whoever did this, I think that was wrong, to tell you the truth. Let me know in the comments. I put the carburetor back together. I stuck it on there. Let me show you. I don't want to put the gas tank on it. I could not. I just have fuel inside of this because the float doesn't go level. It definitely needs a carburetor kit. So just for now, you can see that the linkage is the way that it needs to be. So that's full throttle. That's full throttle open. If you look up there, and then when it starts, this thing will pull back. And then it's like however you set it over here determines how much spring tension that it has. That's all the way off. That's on rabbit, and that's got a lot of tension on it. So for full blast, so we're just gonna set it. They don't have very much gas in it, just enough to take the kill switch off, which is right over there. That grounds it. All right, let's just give it a couple pulls and see if it'll spark off. The clutch is sitting empty. Here's the belt, so we don't have to worry about the knives turning. I was just looking for it to cough. Let's see. Put you back up here. And if it doesn't fall off the cart, that would be nice. That was encouraging. The door's open, you guys. Let's put a little more gas in it, just for the fun, and then try to rev it up and see what happens. That's what I'm thinking. Good God, there's a lot of smoke in here. Where's my gas? So, I guess the answer is yes. Yes, it will run, but it won't be reliable unless I get that float fixed. So I gotta order up the kit, but we solved the problem of the governor linkage. Just put a little gas in it. Just enough to fill the bowl. I'm gonna say that'll be good enough. And the dog's probably gonna go crazy. Okay, full throttle. That's half throttle. Choke is off. Let's see what happens. Right there. It's doing that vroom, 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 that hunting thing because it's looking for more gas. But I really expected it to do that without, what do you call it? Because they couldn't really access the emulsion tube way up inside the barrel. But it sure sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Anyways. Okay, there's not really much more to see on this one, you guys. Just a diagnosis of the problem. We found the problem. We took care of the problem that was like in your face, which was this. And so now it's just going to be drawn out bourgeois. And I don't think you really need to see all that. So I'm going to just take and publish this, and we'll catch you on the next one. Okay? That's it. I'm done. I'm out.